Hello everybody, this is Jeremy Mateo with MDA. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some plugins from Nembrini Audio, and that is going to be their Divided 11 and their Roland Jazz Chorus emulation. Now both of these are very, very good amplifiers, and they have lots of uses. The Jazz Chorus is obviously a Roland Jazz Chorus emulation, and this is amazing. You have everything from the original amp. It sounds like a Jazz Chorus. Now, the cabinet section is the same on all of these. You get to have a selection of cabinets. Usually one is going to be the one that this is, based off of. And then you have a quarter amp, a combo amp, half stack, another combo amp, and another combo amp. That's for the Jazz Chorus. You also have a collection of microphones, and you have the mixer section, which is going to give you the left and right. You can have it mono or stereo pan. You have phase, solo, and mute. And then you have an ambient mic, which is a stereo microphone that you don't get to select what it is, but it sounds fantastic. The Divided 11 is a very boutique amp, and it has very simple controls. You have a boost switch, which will increase the input gain or decrease it. And this is going to be a little bit of grit, a little bit of dirt. Right now I have it bypassed. Your master output is going to be your clean output control. Then you have bass and treble. This is going to increase and decrease the bass and treble. The volume knob is going to be your input gain, and this can get from very clean to extremely dirty. Think of like how Fender amps are distorted once they're past 2. It's very similar with this. You have a high and low gain for the input, and this is very typical of almost all amps that have this. The low is going to be darker, but not a lot, but it is going to be slightly darker with less input gain, while the high is going to be brighter and have a higher input gain. If you need something to have a little bit more grit or a little bit more spank, go for high. If you want something to be mellow and smooth, go for low. The cabinet section, like I said, is the exact same thing. 3 impulses that can be blended in. You can bypass the cabinet, and then you have your cabinet section. For this, we have the 13112 green. We have the BG 214, which is a V30 amp. And then you have the Voice 212 blue. You know what this is. This is an AC30. You have the Hughes and Kentner. Then you have 2 VH half stacks, and that's it. The same mic selection here. I love how Nembrini knows that their mic modeling is just spot on. They don't change it. It's the same. And I like that because I know what it's going to sound like. And you will notice that I have a habit of using a 121 and a dynamic. I do that in real life, and I use that here. The mixer section is the exact same thing, but this has a really cool filters section, which is going to have tight, rumbling, and harsh. What this does is this basically de-rumbles, de-harshes, and tightens up the signal. So tight is going to reduce the low frequencies and make it kind of a little bit more focused, while rumbling is actually going to get rid of the mightiness, the lower mid-range. Harsh, it's aimed right at that harsh frequency point where things get pokey and a little bit too spanky. And I use this on the bass guitar because I loved the way it sounded. So you'll see here I use the Eddie Kramer Pi compressor on the bass and the Divided 11. So let's listen to the bass and just take a look. And it gives me such an amazing, robust sounding bass. How does it sound in the mix though? Let's take a listen.
She ain't no average soul. She's got the world on her throne. She ain't no
Now, I wanted to do this because I wanted to show you what the boost sounds like and what the high and low sounds like. Hopefully you could hear at low, it did get a little bit quieter, but it also reduced the high frequencies, while high kind of slightly boosted it and increased the gain. I think this thing sounds amazing, and I love it on guitars, but man, this is my favorite thing to add on some clean bass. Next, we have the intro guitar. This only has the jazz chorus on it, and there's a reason for that. Looking at the jazz chorus, you have a nice collection of input pedals, noise gate, compressor, auto swell, and fuzz, and then you have every single control from the real jazz chorus, the Roland jazz chorus: bright switch, volume, treble, mid, bass, distortion, reverb, speed, depth, vibrato, and chorus. You have the same cabinet section where you have a different selection of cabinets, but essentially the same thing. You have the same mic collection, and then you even get the mixer section. And in this case, I did use the ambient mic. Let's listen to that ambient mic. That ambient mic can be used just by itself. The effects section is really good on this. The delay sounds absolutely amazing. The equalizer is very good. And the compressor is pretty okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing special about it. It doesn't add any color. It's just a compressor. But how does it sound on this guitar? It sounds incredible, right? So lush and full and just really, really good. I'm extremely excited about this thing. The distortion sounds like the typical jazz chorus distortion. Which kind of reminds me of the fuzz pedal, to be honest. So I really like that they had that. I just don't have any purpose for it right now. Finally, we have the guitar solo, which is another Nembrini audio plugin. And let's listen to this. This has the jazz chorus. So this isn't doing as much. The way that this was recorded was a pedal board going into a blues driver and then going straight into an interface. It wasn't super distorted, or it was, but it wasn't like using heavy metal distortion. So it actually sounded pretty good on its own. But you see the jazz chorus adds so much depth to this sound. A little bit of chorus goes a long way. In this case, I'm using a lot of chorus. I am utilizing the reverb by boosting up by quite a bit. No distortion, rolling off the treble and the bass, and boosting up the mid. This is a typical tone for guitar solos, especially blues and jazz solos. You will notice that I always use a 57 or a 421 and then one Royer mic or any ribbon mic in my collection. I really like the way this sounded, and I could even slap in some of that ambient mic to give it some more slapback delay. there you have it. That is the Nembrini Audio Jazz Chorus and the Nembrini Audio Divided 11. To be honest, these are amazing amp sims, and I think they sound fantastic. As far as their clean amps go, this is probably my two favorite amps, and that's why I chose these to do a video on. I really, really like the way they sound. The Jazz Chorus is just amazing. It's hands down my favorite Roland Jazz Chorus emulation, and I don't know if I've ever used the Divided 11 before in real life or any other emulation of it, but I love it. I think it sounds amazing, and this is my go-to for clean or jazz style bass guitars now. Anyway, that's it for this video. Please leave comments down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next. This is Jerry Mateo Tendera. I will see you guys later. Bye.